Hello guys and welcome back to another video. This is Quintazi TV here, and today I'm going to be explaining the origin of magic. Now, magic is about perception, it's about illusion, it's about, doing trickery, doing spells, doing all that fun type of stuff. And I'm going to be showing you a series of clips, I'm going to be showing you a series of pictures, and I'm going to go in depth and explain what magic really is. So when you look at magic, magic is something that is, illusion, perception of what you believe it is. And if you look here in this picture, you can physically see the man with the glasses in the back is stealing a purse from this other man who's looking at the trick. And yes, that is a man, surprisingly, but he's using the illusion of looking up in the sky and using misdirection to steal the purse. And the other magician over here is showing the card trick or the magic trick and is looking directly at the man so that he can keep his eyes on him. You can also see here in the background that the man with his arm around the woman is stealing her necklace. Of course, he's acting like he's rubbing her neck, but instead he's actually stealing her necklace. So that's a bit of illusion over there. But we're gonna go on to the next photo here, and I'm going to explain what this means. Alright, so guys, in this next photo here, this photo was an illustration from Reginald Scott's The Discovery of Witchcraft, written in 1584. It is one of the earliest books on magic tricks. And if you take a look here, you can actually see there is a man. He's got his head sticking out of the bottom of a table, and you see a body laying down on top of the table. In real time, what you would know if you were there at that moment, you would see glass underneath the table and it would reflect, and you would see legs from underneath the table, and you would see a physical body with a stool that he is sitting on. But in real time, what I'm going to explain to you is this. The man, that is not his head. His head is actually underneath this body on this table. And it's kind of hard to imagine that this is true, but this is really, in fact, true. He has his body laying across the table, and then you see a head sticking out from the bottom of the table. You're wondering, how's this possible? What is this trick? This trick is used by a lot of magicians when you have these saw the woman in half tricks, say for instance, like a lot of stage magicians use. You have it to where they'll saw the head off of the table, and then all of a sudden the magician will throw a piece of cloth over them, and then bam, they've reappeared and their head's fine. That's kind of like what it is in this photo here, except this is back in the day, so the trick is a little different. They used a lot more mirrors back then than they do now. Now we have equipment that we can use to where we don't need mirrors anymore, but back then in the day, the materials were, it was limited. Okay, this is 1584 we're talking about. So the materials were very, very limited. So he was only able to use mirrors and his illusion. And what he would do was he would make his audience sit directly in front of the table. That way, because if you were to go behind the table, you would see everything that's happening. But if you stood in front, you would only see the mirrors, you would see the legs, and you would see the body on top of the table. And that's exactly what the magician wanted you to think. So that is Reginald Scott, The Discovery of Witchcraft, written in 1584. Of course, this is written in, I believe, Latin, the dead language. You can also get it in English from Amazon as well. I would not recommend reading this book, though, because the tricks are very old and they require old materials. So if you're willing or wanting to read something like this, I would recommend getting it off of Amazon. But then again, we have new upgraded books with new resources and new materials. So I would recommend just getting a new book on magic for that instance. Which brings us, guys, to one of the most talked about magic in history, the art of conjuring, which was given its name in 1614 by a magician who liked to conjure demons and devils. Now, when you think of conjuring, yes, you might think of this movie, The Conjuring, or you may think of, another movie such as The Poltergeist, or such as, The Exorcist, or something like that. But when we think of conjuring, we're not physically talking about demons and devils. We're talking about conjuring of other items, such as you can conjure up, let's say, a cup. A cup could be a conjure up. Anything that comes into view, anything that comes up into the appearance in front of you is considered a conjure up. The word conjuring derives from Greek, which means to come in front of. And a lot of people don't realize that. They believe the conjuring just means, ooh, ghosts, ooh, demons and devils. Oh my God, we summoned the conjuring, right? No. Very wrong. The conjuring is something that is put in front of you that was built up from a time. So when you watch the Conjuring movies, such by James Wan, the director, he's not making these movies to scare you. He's making them as a meaning. He's making them to show you what the meaning behind conjuring is. Like I said, a conjuring is something that is put in front of you, something that you can see and visualize, but something you can't touch. So say, for instance, let's go with this movie, The Nun. The Nun came out in 2018. The Nun is considered a conjuring because she was conjured up by someone. Let's say, for instance, God, for instance, like that. Let's say God went ahead and conjured up the nun. The nun had to be conjured up. It has to have a physical body to be into in order for the energy force to be revealed. Let's also go, for instance, if you watch The Conjuring 1 with the 5 girls sitting inside of the house and they were being haunted by first a witch, a mother, and the mother who killed her son. Like I said, those are all conjurings. And when you have a conjuring, like I said, it's something that's put in front of you, something that is placed in front of you that you can't touch, but you can physically see it. And you can think of what it would feel like, or you can think, or you can just feel the presence of it. And that's why they have 3 stages of magic and the 3 stages of the Conjuring scary movies. It's called, I think, oppression, something like that, where you feel the energy there, where you think that someone else is there with you, and then when they take over your body. So this is stuff that you have to learn when you think about the history of magic. Like I said, magic is not always about doing card trickery. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. Magic is 3 stages. The first one is illusion, the magic of illusion to misdirect your spectator. The second part of magic is an illustration. An illustration, put something in, let's say, draw them out a picture, explain to them what this picture means. That is part of the illusion phase of magic. And then it comes to the final one, which is the conjuring stage, where you actually put forth everything that you've just done in front of that spectator to wow them. And that is what magic is all about. So when we go in depth into the history of magic, you think back to the 1600s to the 1500s, where magic derived from, and you think back and you're like, okay, this is totally different from what we did now. I'm going to go ahead and explain now the difference between magic back then and now the difference between magic now.